a look at to be fixed in a patch if we ever get any more patches, because it's so underutilized. But it's very, very effective. It's more effective than some hero abilities are at killing units. I had it written down here, but I think it lasts 10 seconds on heroes, which is pretty amazing. It does do 75% movement speed, so you're nerfing the Blademaster 75% movement speed. His attack rate is minus 50%, and his attack damage is minus 15%. Now that lasts 10 seconds on a hero, like I said before. The big downfall to that is it's a tier 3 thing. It requires master research, but other than that, oh, and its mana cost is insanely high. Necromancers can't actually cast that. As soon as you train a Master Necromancer, he actually has to regenerate some mana before he even has the ability to cast that. Conversely, with Curse, where Banshee's going to be able to, as soon as he pops out, can cast a lot of Curse. As soon as she pops out, excuse me. Do I want to see more undead players using Necromancers as a counter to the Blademaster? It'd be nice, but it's a little not. It's really not feasible because of the high tech requirement. Casters in general, I think, should be used more versus Orc because they're more susceptible to it. Grunts having heavy armor take extra from it, and casters, especially the undead casters, and really casters of every race, are very effective still versus Orcs. They're very, very weak, so obviously they're easy to take down. If you can get a Blademaster in there that doesn't have Cursor or Cripple on him, it will easily be able to tear out your low HP casters, and it's hard to keep them alive. I don't want to see mass casters. I'm talking mix. Mix in with your fiends. Mix in with your ghouls. Just 2 or 3 banshees, and I think you'll have a huge impact on your game. And if you want to experiment on the average level of play, mixing in Curse, I think that'll have a big impact. Other units for the other races, I wanted to just mention that Sorcerer Slow is still very effective as a counter versus Blademaster. That's going to slow his attack rate and his movement speed. Last a decent amount of time on the Blademaster. Again, all this stuff can be dispelled, but the mana cost excuse me, can be is a lot more beneficial for the offensive player than the Orc who is having to dispel that. Disenchant is very effective if you can use it economically, but if you're having to just do it on one Blademaster, and that's not gonna be very economical, and he won't be able to do it as often as you can slow him. So manually cast it on the Blademaster if you want. I mean, if you have the mana and you think you can do it on all the units, yeah, sure. Curse on all the units is nice, but again, consider this. Other than the Wyverns, Orc's army isn't really a damage type army, so you're really not worried as much about the army as you are about the Blademaster, which is the core threat in this matchup. Night Elves have Druids of the Talon, still very, very effective. Fairy Fire makes it easy so you can see the Blademaster first and lowers his armor, which is nice. And also Cyclone, which is the common Druid of the Talon strategy. Just Cyclone the heroes and pick off the units. Keep your Druids of the Talon in a nice clump and move them around every time they do an attack. Just keep them moving so that the Orc army has trouble ensnaring them and getting in there with their heroes, and they're very, very effective. So again, I'm not going to be focusing on Human and Night Elf as much as I am going to be Undead for this, because that's what I focused on in doing the study. So what I'd like to see from that section is more Banshee uses. Curse, so underutilized and a very, very effective spell. And leading in from the Necromancer strategy, I want to talk about leading in from Necromancer's Cripple, I want to talk about heroes and good Tavern hero counters to the Blademaster. And the first hero I want to discuss is the Firelord. Soulburn is something that I was looking at as being a very underutilized spell, but the more and more I started looking at the Firelord and considering him as a good counter to the Blademaster, the more and more I realized he really isn't. Soulburn is very nice, but it only lasts 6 seconds on a hero. That's right, 6 seconds as opposed to 10 seconds from Cripple and a minute on Curse. Just boggles my mind. A hero ability that is so less effective than regular unit abilities. A tier 2 Banshee's Curse is a lot more effective than Soulburn is. Soulburn does a damage over time. It's pretty insignificant at the lower levels and even at the higher levels. It's also a Silence, which is a nice counter to Windwalk, but again, 6 seconds of that Blademaster not being able to Windwalk really isn't that important. But more importantly, it nerfs the Blademaster's damage by 50%. 50% is a difference of, let's see, negative 29 damage on the Blademaster. That's right, negative 29. So a lot of the replays, if you guys have been looking at the Blademaster, really focus on him. Know thy enemy. Look at the replays where the Blademaster is successful and see how much damage he's doing extra, usually through items. You see a lot of the people getting those circlets early, getting Blades of Attack, getting Gloves of Haste. And I was going to focus a little bit on those items and figure out which items were better and blah, blah, blah. But really, it doesn't matter. You're going to use those items, whatever items you get through the game. So I've never seen it where Orc really had to make a choice beside using a Blades of Attack or Gloves of Haste. But if it really comes down to it, the Blades of Attack are probably a lot more effective than Gloves of Haste on a Blademaster. But usually you're going to have either both or 2 of one and 2 of the other. I mean, you don't really have that choice in the game for the most part. So we're talking about the Fire Lord. Another reason he's not very effective is he has really low hit points. It's like 450, I think, when he comes out at level 1. And he's very, very weak, so he's very susceptible to everything that most armies have against him. A round of Fiend Focus Fire and a Coil Nova easily be able to weaken, if not kill, a Fire Lord at level 1 or level 2, level 3 even. He's very, very weak. So do I want to see people using the Fire Lord as a counter to Blademaster? Maybe. What I was considering doing was mixing him in at tier 2, as opposed to going the Lich at tier 2, go the Fire Lord, and use that to kind of nerf his ability, because you can get it right at tier 2 if you're going to do some kind of pushing at tier 2 to stop the Orc. Usually you're going to go in to take out some of his burrows. If you can bring along a Tavern hero, the Fire Lord, you can have a better chance at making that Blademaster nerfed, kind of really hurting his ability to be able to stop the push with the Fire Lord. But again, he's pretty weak. He can't be coiled. Conversely, another hero that I want to talk about, which has a similar ability, is the Pit Lord. Undead players rejoice. Your famed Pit Lord, it has a very, very effective use versus the Blademaster. And he can be coiled, so he's a very, very good choice for the Undead army and the Undead in general. Howl of Terror is an amazing, amazing ability. At level 1, it's 30%. At level 2, it's 40%. And level 3, it's 50% reduction. So that's the same ability as Soulburn as far as the damage reduction, and the same ability as Cripple as far as damage reduction. The percentages work out to be, let's see, and all these abilities stack, by the way. So if you wanted to really go all out, I mean, you could get a Fire Lord, you could get a Pit Lord, and you could get Curse, and all those abilities stack to give over 100% damage reduction. Now, what does that mean? He's going to do 0 damage? No, that's not what it means. At 100% damage reduction, it's negative 34 damage. That's a lot. At 140%, which is all those combined, it's negative 41 damage, but that's only going to last for 6 seconds because of Soulburn. So if you use Pit Lord and Cripple, you can get 100% easily enough with negative 34 damage. That's what's going to give you. And if you're going to use the Pit Lord and the Fire Lord to do at level 2, that's, let's say, 40% for Howl of Terror, and 50% from that, that's about 90, so you're going to get negative 33 damage. Really, I don't want to see you go overboard with this. Damage reduction is a very, very good counter to the Blademaster, but you don't need to go overboard to make it effective. Just getting a Pit Lord at, say, at level 2, or getting him as your first hero, and maybe a Death Knight second to heal him, is not a bad idea. Howl of Terror, 40% damage reduction, is negative 28 damage, which is more than enough at the lowest possible consideration of this. Or sorry, it's 30 damage. So that's going to be negative 27 damage, which is still more than enough to counter the Blademaster effectively. So we're talking level 1 Pit Lord, or level 3 Pit Lord with 40% damage. Basically, what I'm saying, Pit Lord, Howl of Terror, very, very good counter to the Blademaster, and gives if you're going Fiends, gives you a nice tank up front to kind of blockade. He's huge, so he's going to really make it hard for the Orc army to get back there if the Orc army is trying to kill your Fiends. But if the Blademaster's back there, Howl of Terror has a really good range on it, so you're going to really hurt his ability to kill your Fiends. Combine that with Coil to save them, or Frost Armor if you get a Lich third, or however you want to do it, Lich second, even if you just want to try Frost Armor and Pit Lord. And that's an interesting idea there. It's really hard to give up Coil, though. Coil is such a core aspect of the Undead army. So that's what I wanted to go over. Those are two primary heroes. The other one I was considering was the Dark Ranger, of course. Silence, effective, 8 seconds at level 1, 10 seconds at level 2, and 12 seconds at level 3. It's nice, but again, it doesn't really hurt the Blademaster's critical strike, which is kind of what the focus of this audio was going to be about. Close to 30 minutes. I think I'm going to end it. I appreciate you guys tuning in my audio commentary. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I look forward to doing more of these in the future. And let me know what you think in the comments section. That's it. We'll see you guys later.